It's ironic and sad that Chrystia Freeland is here representing Canada on Canada Day. Why is it ironic and sad? Because Chrystia Freeland hates Canada. Think about it. She's trying to tear it down. She doesn't uphold or champion Canada and Canadian values. Rather, she's trying to take all of those values away and exchange them for something hideous, something modern, something antichrist. Let's hear what she had to say at these wonderful celebrations.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Canada Day! Bonne fête du Canada! I'd like to start by thanking you, Elder Claudette Commanda, for sharing your words of welcome and starting today's ceremonies in such a good way. Miigwech. Je voudrais commencer par reconnaître que nous sommes réunis sur...
Okay, so we'll skip ahead, but obviously there's an incredible energy there. You can just feel it. Wow, it's palpable. People are so excited. Unbelievable.
Where everyone can share in the... Today is a time for us to reflect on the values that unite us as Canadians.
Nope, because you see, Chrystia Freeland has no values, and neither does Justin Trudeau, and neither does the Liberal Party, neither does the NDP, and so on and so on. They don't have values, they're progressives. How can they have values? If they have values, then they have an objective standard by which they say all people must follow this law. But if they admit that all people have to follow some sort of law, then they're no longer progressive. After all, progressive means do whatever is right in your own eyes. Follow whatever law you'd like. Follow your emotions. Follow your feelings. Do whatever you want to do. Be a god. That is what Chrystia Freeland follows. So how can she claim to have values? No, there are no values with progressivism. If there are, it insinuates that you can achieve some sort of standard. And if you can achieve some sort of standard, then you stop progressing towards it. And if you stop progressing towards it, if you cross the finish line of a race, you cease to progress. Thus, her dogma eats itself alive.
For generations, we Canadians have worked and sometimes fought to build a Canada where everyone can share in the promise of our great country.
Oh yeah? How's that working now? Freeland's right. Canadians have fought and died for the freedom that we're able to enjoy. And yet it's people like her, it's bureaucrats like her who are tearing the country down. She has not fought to build up this country. She has not worked to create this country, or to create a country that is a champion of morals and ethics and values. No, that has not been Chrystia Freeland's work. Her work has and is precisely the opposite. Precisely the opposite. It's a slap in the face to everyone who did die for our freedoms and who has fought to make this country great. For her to say that all of us, including me, Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau and Stephen Guilbeault, have fought to make this place what it is today. More than that, how exactly is that promise working out, Chrystia? Your promise to make Canada this wonderful nation. How exactly is that working out for middle-class individuals? It might help if you talked to a few of them. Maybe if you did, you might realize just how desperate people are in this economy because of economic, moral, ethical, and social policies like yours.
Our work is and always will be unfinished.
That absolutely. She is correct in that. Oh, stunning that she told the truth. Progressives never finish their job. There is no finish. If there is a finish with progressivism, then it's no longer progressivism. I talked about that before. Think of a race. People know, or runners know, which way to run in a race because there is a finish line. And once they cross the finish line, they cease progressing towards it and actually conclude the race. Now, the same can't be true with progressivism. It's not as though there's a final goal. It's not as though there's an end goal, because if there is, you can eventually cross it and therefore cease to progress towards it. Meaning, if you have an end goal, you can't be a progressive. It means you're, again, dogma cannibalizes itself. It destroys itself. So there is no end with this government. There is no end with Chrystia Freeland. For example, they want to fight warming temperatures, whatever it might be. When is it finished? It's never finished. It's never finished. It allows them to continually, it allows our leaders to continually impose more and more socialism upon us in the name of fighting some unseen, uncertain giant ad infinitum, forever and ever.
There are old problems we have yet to solve and fresh challenges for us to meet.
For the Liberal government, those fresh challenges are the renewed, rejuvenated desire for freedom, justice, law, morality, and so on in this country. People are sick and tired of the Liberal government. They are sick and tired of this Liberal reign. They are sick and tired of Chrystia Freeland telling all of us what to do, even though she hasn't an ounce, a semblance of morality. People are tired of it. So this is a new challenge for the Liberal government. The Liberal government has to meet this new challenge, and no doubt they're going to do so, surely in the most benevolent and generous of ways possible.
But today is the one day of the year when we can set aside our national modesty and proudly declare that our Canada, our true north, strong and free, is the best country in the world.
Yeah, true north, strong and free, hey? Isn't this coming from the pseudo-dictator who locked us down and who threw convoy protesters in jail? Yeah? Yeah. Froze bank accounts. Didn't you freeze bank accounts, Chrystia Freeland? Yeah? Weird. Doesn't sound like a very free country to me when that happens. And as for your champion about how Canada is the greatest country in the world, then why are you trying to destroy it? Like, why are you trying to utterly annihilate it? If it's so great, if it's so wonderful, why are you trying to completely tear it down and refashion it in your image?
It really is. Nous avons une démocratie. Soup and shovel your drive of neighbors who will make you soup and shovel your driveway when you're sick. Of entire communities who come together to sponsor families fleeing war or devastation.
Had to force a clap there. That's awkward.
Those communities sure deserve a hand. We have so much to be proud of and so much to be grateful for. Because what really makes Canada great is Canadians.
Okay, but under your government, no one knows what it means to be Canadian anymore. Like, this is a government, Chrystia Freeland is a ruler, Justin Trudeau is a leader who says and who acts like everyone in the entire world is a Canadian. This is the nonsense of Freeland's statement. It's like, if you live on the earth, and even if you don't live on the earth, you're Canadian. Come to our country. Open borders. Everyone's Canadian. Everyone's Canadian. We're going to help everyone as though they're Canadians, except for those Canadians who actually live in the country and who were born here and who are citizens here. Freeland and Trudeau and Guilbeault and all those other radicals, those wolves, are so focused on helping everyone else around the world, everyone else, absolutely everyone else, that they have no time to focus on the people who actually live in the nation.
Each one of us, every single person here, every single person watching, builds our great country every day in the generosity we show a stranger, in our hard work in canola fields and research labs, in our dedicated and loving teaching of our children. And Elder Commanda, they really are our future.
I find it insulting, like you find it insulting, that Freeland, for example, would talk about farmers and canola fields when her government is working their hardest to see those farmers crushed, to see that carbon taxes are imposed, higher cost is imposed. They want to talk about how they champion Canadians. These government officials want to talk about that. Well, thanks for all of your new taxes. Thank you for making life so unaffordable in this nation. What a way to thank us for all of our years or work of service.
Alors que nous célébrons le 100, it's my pleasure. Happy Canada Day, everyone. It's a beautiful day. We live in the best country in the world, and I am so glad that we're celebrating here together.
Brutal speech from a demagogue filled with lies, 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 and more lies. That is the state of this government. They hate our country. They do. They hate the culture that this country actually has. And they're working their hardest to replace it with a world culture, with a nation that has no culture. Justin Trudeau himself said Canada has no core identity, but that itself is an identity. And what a sad identity it is. For that matter, that's not Canada's identity. No, we have an identity, and we're not ashamed of it. We have a history, and although it's not perfect, what nation's history is perfect? It's our history. And far from allowing these radicals, Freeland, Guilbeault, Trudeau, and the lot, to tear it down, we're going to work our hardest to make sure it stands glorious and free.